A few days ago, I realized I was doing exactly what I warn independent creatives not to do. I had a podcast to record, a weekly show to prepare for, articles I need to write, social media posts to create, a new Create Masterclass to build, a 7-day, 4 Fears program to finish, a community to grow, ads I want to launch, and a website to refine. And somehow, with all of that already on my plate, my brain was still asking, what else should I be doing? And that's a mistake. And I almost walked straight into it. Welcome to Focus, Finish, Grow with Bill Walker, a podcast for independent creatives who want to turn scattered ideas into focused action, consistent visibility, and real creative momentum. And today, we're going to talk about one of the easiest traps for ambitious creatives to fall into: trying to make too many things important at the same time. And here's the crazy part: I know better. I teach this. I talk constantly about focus. I built an entire operating system around helping independent creatives choose what matters, reverse engineer it, execute, amplify, track, and evolve. And I still caught myself doing the same thing so many creative people do. And that's the concept of adding. Adding another project, adding another platform, adding another commitment, adding another idea, adding another strategy, adding another thing I somehow convinced myself was urgent. And I think this is one of the most painful traps creative people can fall into because it doesn't feel wrong. It feels right. It feels like ambition. It feels like motivation. It feels like possibility. It feels like you're being responsible. It feels like you're doing what serious entrepreneurs are supposed to be doing. I'm working. You're working. I'm planning. You're planning. We're creating. We're thinking. We're learning. We're trying. And yet, somehow, at the end of the week, the most important thing or things still aren't done yet. Now, that hurts. It's frustrating. You can work all day and still feel behind. You can cross 10 things off your list and still feel like you didn't move. You can be exhausted and still feel guilty and feel like I should have got more stuff done today. And after working hard all day and night, you still wonder, why am I not further along? Why has this taken me so long? Why can't I seem to finish anything? Why does it feel like everyone else is moving so much faster than I am? Why do I keep starting over? And eventually, a lot of creatives conclude, although erroneously, I need more time. I need a better schedule. I need to wake up earlier. I need a better app. I need a new planner. I need to work harder. I need to become more disciplined. All right, well, maybe that one is true. Maybe you do need to become more disciplined. Maybe I need to become more disciplined. Maybe I need to stay up later. Maybe I need to cut out 1 more hour of sleep. Maybe I need AI to help me do more things. But what if the problem isn't a lack of time? What if the problem is that you have permitted too many things to compete for the time you already have? And that's where I found myself. And it had to stop because I realized I was about to make the exact mistake I warn every creative about. I was trying to complete too many things all at once. And when you work on too many things at the same time, nothing receives the attention required to be completed exceptionally. And I know that's a brutal truth. Creative people are always struggling with what to do with the seemingly limitless number of ideas that they have. The struggle is real. We all struggle with having too many simultaneous ideas, too many competing interests, too many competing possibilities. All these things we passionately care about. You see, all these ideas, interests, and possibilities, they're what make us creative. When we're exposed to a new idea, we immediately begin to see the 5 different directions it can go. And as we finish one project, we immediately imagine three more. We can watch one video and think, I should start doing that. When someone tells you about a new platform, you think maybe you should join it too. You can learn about a new marketing strategy and immediately begin thinking about all the ways to implement it. Someone launches a course and you think, well, maybe I should create one too. Someone starts a podcast and you think, well, I have things to say. Maybe I should start a podcast. Well, now, none of these things are necessarily bad ideas, which is why things become so difficult. We're not choosing between good ideas and bad ideas. The majority of the time, we find ourselves choosing between good ideas and other good ideas. And this is precisely where focus becomes so painful. Because focus means saying, even though these are all good ideas, the thing that I'm currently working on now, it matters the most. Like it matters today, not forever, just for right now. And that means all those other good ideas have to wait. And I know, no creative really wants to talk about that. And one thing that all entrepreneurs need to remember is that every yes costs something. Every yes has a real cost. Every new project or idea takes time, energy, attention, emotional bandwidth, and decision making capacity away from something else. You can't keep adding forever without creating consequences. Something has to slow down. Something becomes mediocre. Something will be neglected. Other times, a project gets rushed. Sometimes, oftentimes, many things never even get completed. They remain half done. Or even worse, you, the entrepreneur, become the thing that breaks. And I think a lot of independent creatives are living right at that edge. Are you? Are you currently living at the edge? Are you working hard and feeling overwhelmed? Do you feel like you've overcommitted? Like there's no way you can take on one more thing, and if you do, you'll break? Are you still motivated? Do you still feel inspired? You need to know you're capable of finishing. But I guess that if you're experiencing any of the above, it means you're trying to work on too many things at the same time. And that creates a very specific kind of pain. You start to lose trust in yourself. You say, this week, I'm going to finish the first draft of my book. And then Friday comes, you worked hard, you did a lot, but the first draft of your book still isn't finished. But then you say, well, next week I'll finish. But then next week comes and something else gets added and it didn't get done. And then a month goes by. And then 3 months. And then the project, the book, starts to feel heavy, never ending, and even impossible. You begin to feel guilty. And when you think about it, you don't feel motivated or excited anymore. You feel pressure. You feel disappointment. You feel behind. You begin avoiding your book. But then you get a brand new idea. And the new idea feels exciting. And it should because it's new. This new idea doesn't have any guilt attached to it yet. So you enthusiastically dive in and begin working on the new idea. And for a little while, you feel happy and energized again until that project reaches the hard, messy middle and becomes yet another unfinished obligation. This is why creative people can spend years moving without ever actually arriving. And I almost did it again. So I chose to look at everything I was trying to do and accomplish at this moment. And then I had to ask myself, what actually matters most today? Not what do I care about? Because I care about all of it. Not what could be useful. All of it could be useful. Not what could be fun. Seriously, several things would be fun. I had to ask myself, what matters most now, today? And for me, the answer became clear. I need to finish the core assets that will support the growth of my Create community. I need to finish the Create Masterclass. I need to finish the resources that go with it. I need to finish the 4 Fears 7-Day Reset. I need to record this episode. I need to record the next Spaghetti to Strategy episode. And I need to build the small number of assets that allow my content to actually reach the people that it's meant to help. That is the work. So something had to move. I decided I have to pause writing for a little while. Actually, it's a lot of writing and it has to wait. I have to pause regular Facebook posts for a time. I have to reduce my commitments because they're not relevant to the work I need to complete now. And that's something every creative needs to be cognizant of. So here are some questions to ask yourself. Are you currently working on what matters most? Do you have projects that you're working on that really should be placed on your future list? Are you working on projects that should be stopped and never completed because they don't align with your goals? What do you have to do in order to reach your business goals and dreams? These questions are important to ask and even more important to answer truthfully, because a lot of creatives are terrified that if they stop doing something, everything will fall apart. I mean, think about these statements and what they really mean. If I stop posting for a few days, people will forget me. If I stop writing, I'll lose momentum. If I don't jump on this opportunity right now, like today, I'll miss my chance. I have to keep every project moving, or one of them might die. And these statements are all based on the same thing: fear. Sometimes it's the fear of missing out. Other times, it's a fear of losing relevance. Sometimes it's fear that if we narrow our focus, we're closing the door on possibility and opportunity. But the opposite is frequently true. Focus is what gives possibility and opportunity the best chance to succeed. An idea doesn't become powerful because you keep thinking about it. It becomes powerful because you give it enough sustained attention to develop it and complete it. Creative people are surrounded by beginnings. Beginnings are exciting. Beginnings are full of potential. Beginnings are clean. I mean, there aren't any mistakes yet. No disappointing numbers. No bad reviews. No silence. No rejection. No hard, messy middles. But it's the finished work that changes your life. Finished books can be read. Finished music can be heard. Finished videos can be watched. Finished products can be sold. Finished systems can be used. Finished ideas can help someone. Finished work creates impact. And finishing requires something that doesn't get talked about enough, and that is discipline and restraint. It's the ability to say no, not right now. The ability to look at a good idea and leave it alone. The ability to resist the urge to add. The ability to protect the thing that you already chose. That's discipline. That's restraint. Now, neither discipline nor restraint are a punishment. You don't need to continually grind yourself into the ground. You don't need to stay exhausted. Discipline protects your decisions from your own distractions. And sometimes the distractions are attractive. I mean, they're very attractive. I mean, new opportunities, new ways to grow, a new strategy to implement, a different way to market. And that's exactly what makes those potential distractions so dangerous. I think a lot of creatives are waiting to feel less overwhelmed before they focus. But focus is what reduces the overwhelm. You don't wait for clarity to choose, you choose, and then clarity follows. You decide, this is the thing. This is my primary focus. This is what I'll finish. This is what I will protect. This is what will get my best attention. This is what will get all my energy and resources. Everything else has to wait and go somewhere else. And that's why I use what I call a future list, because I don't want to lose those good ideas. I also don't want every good idea to turn into an active project. A good idea deserves to be captured. However, it doesn't automatically deserve access to your calendar today. I think, I'm pretty sure that this one practice alone could save a lot of creative people years of frustration. Good ideas deserve to be captured. However, they don't automatically deserve a place on your current calendar because your current calendar is for your current priority, your current primary quest. You can say that something matters, but where's the time scheduled? You can say your book matters, but where are the hours written down needed to work on your book? You can say your business matters, but do you have focused work scheduled? You can say your health matters. Where is it protected? You can say your family matters. Have you allocated time for them? The calendar is what reveals the truth. Now, that doesn't mean that every second of every day needs to be planned out exactly. I don't believe your life should become one giant efficiency contest, but I do believe that the most important and meaningful work requires protected space. And protected space requires saying no, or at least not now. So here's what I want you to do. Look at everything you are currently trying to move forward. Every project, every platform, every commitment, every piece of content, every unfinished idea you keep mentally carrying. And ask yourself, which of these things actually needs to move now? Not someday, but now. Which one, if completed, would create the greatest amount of momentum? Which one would make other things easier? Which one would remove the most weight from your mind? Which one deserves to be finished? Then ask the harder question. What am I willing to pause in order to get this done now? That's the question. Because adding a priority without removing pressure somewhere else is usually just wishful thinking. You don't create focus by writing a more ambitious to do list. You create focus by deciding what needs your attention right now and what does not. This is how freedom begins. And I know that that may sound restrictive, but it's not. It's liberating. There is incredible freedom in knowing what matters right now and what can wait until later. There is freedom in sitting down to work and knowing what you'll be working on that day. There is freedom in watching your project advance because you committed to it and then stayed with it. There is joy in completion. There is confidence in keeping promises to yourself. There is energy and momentum. And momentum changes how you see yourself. You stop seeing yourself as the person who has a lot of ideas yet never accomplishes anything. You begin to see yourself as the person who finishes what you start. You become someone who chooses. You begin directing your attention with purpose. And that's powerful. And this is why I believe independent creatives need more than inspiration and motivation. They need a powerful framework. Because inspiration and motivation will just make them want to do 10 things. The framework helps you choose the one thing that matters. And that's a huge part of why I built Create. We choose, then reverse engineer, and then execute, and then amplify, and track, and then evolve. And you know what? It begins with choose for a reason. Because everything after that becomes harder when you refuse to choose. You can't effectively reverse engineer 20 priorities. You can't execute effectively while working on every idea that pops into your head. You can't amplify something that never gets finished. You can't usefully track chaotic actions. And you can't evolve from persistent, erratic behavior. It all starts with the discipline to choose. Remember, choosing one thing now doesn't mean forgetting everything else. Pausing isn't the same as quitting. A future list isn't an idea graveyard. It's the place where good ideas wait until it's their turn to become the priority, and you have the capacity to give them what they deserve. You're allowed to have many dreams. You're allowed to be multi passionate. You're allowed to change direction. You're allowed to evolve. But you don't have to build every future at the same time. And that's the mistake I almost made. I was trying to work on too many possibilities at once. And the result would have been predictable. Everything would probably move a little. Nothing would move enough. Some things would probably never get done. So I'm choosing. I'm recording this podcast episode now. Then I'm going to finish the Create Masterclass. And then I'll finish the core resources. After that, I'll finish the 4 Fears 7-Day Reset. These are tasks that will immediately help me honor my primary quest to help 10,000 independent creatives build profitable and sustainable businesses. So some other things are going to wait. And honestly, that feels good. It feels lighter. It feels clear. It feels like forward movement. It feels like freedom. And that's what I want for you. I don't want you carrying 30 unfinished futures around in your head. I don't want you ending every day feeling guilty because you couldn't complete the workload of 5. I don't want your ambition to become the thing that keeps you stuck. I want you to experience what happens when your attention stops scattering. I want you to see what you can build when your energy has a direction. I want you to feel the confidence that comes from finishing something you said mattered, because you're capable of far more than you currently believe. You just need the discipline to choose where your ideas go. Some become projects, some become future possibilities, some become notes, some get let go, and one gets your full attention now. That's how momentum begins. That's how trust in yourself is developed. It's how work gets finished. And that's how creative careers are built. One focused commitment at a time. So here are 2 questions or action items for you to answer today. Not tomorrow, but today. What is the one thing you keep saying matters while continuing to surround it with 10 competing priorities? And number 2, what are you willing to pause long enough to finally finish it? You have time, you have skills, and you have the drive to take the next step. You have enough ideas. Now, choose. Protect that work. Finish what matters, and then build from there. If you're finding value in this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this right now, so you never miss an episode. This is Focus, Finish, Grow. I'm Bill Walker, and I'll see you in the next episode.